Howdy folks, Spencer here with the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console as of June 5th of 2025. As always, chapters to each topic are listed below. First up, with today's patch we have the most detailed patch notes we have seen in some time for both PC and console, for which I am very happy to see. Starting with the PC side of the patch, the first line here is a fix to an issue with the Heart of the Matter event Buyout. This event requires 20 progression points, but judging by this line, it seems the Buyout was acting like the event had 40 points and was not giving the correct discount per point of daily participation. Following this patch, you should then see each day decrease the price of the Buyout by 300 Zen. Next up is some Endeavor perk fixes. Shield regen for Space and Ground was showing as 4% in-game, and has now been lowered to the initially advertised amount of 1% per rank. And for the armor pen, this was showing up as 2%, but was initially advertised as being 1% in the blog. However, it has now been lowered to 0.5% per rank, along with the blog having now been adjusted down to that value as well. This isn't the first time we've had something that gives armor pen halved after launch this year. Just look at what happened to Breen Shield Tunneling. I'm just glad in this case they made their bouncing move right away, rather than in the distant future. But with that hit, there isn't really much from the new perk additions that stands out. As many of you have expressed, the update has just made it harder now for folks to get the perks that they actually want. Which is why, as I said in the Endeavor video the other day, alongside widening the perk pool, they should have also expanded the number of perk options we have when spending a perk point. 3 is just not enough anymore given how much they've widened the perk pool. And on the topic of balancing, the Kida's Promise Universal Console apparently had a scaling bug with it that resulted in the anti-proton damage buff from it being higher than intended. This has resulted in the base stats for this console dropping from a 50.5% Cat 1 anti-proton damage buff all the way down to 34.2% after the patch. Now, I don't have an updated image of this console at Mark 15 Epic, but if that percentage difference holds true, then I would expect the new version of this console at Mark 15 Epic to have around a 47.3% anti-proton damage buff, and all of the other buffs on this do remain the same. It's still a good console, it's just not going to stand out as much as it did prior to this fix. And next up for the Ranger and Paladin remaster, they resolved some issues with the randomize button that would result in mismatched hull materials. They also resolved a visual bug with the molecular reconstruction indicator light, which was offset and incorrectly remained white. In order to see these fixes, you will need to reapply either the Paladin or Ranger template in the ship Tailor. And there's some pictures of these changes over on Blue Sky, courtesy of Pundus, so you can see the light is fixed there. And there's also some changes made to the nacelles to make them look less wonky. So again, just head on over to the Tailor and reapply the templates to get those changes on your ship. And the final thing for this PC patch is an update to the new Devil's Heart Ground TFO. They have reduced the briefing timer, increased mini-boss difficulty, and adjusted pacing of the final boss encounter by reducing the number of infiltrators while increasing other enemy types during that final boss fight. They also addressed some visual issues with Navala. As for why the balancing changes were done, Borticus commented over on Blue Sky saying, quote, "What we found was that the boss fight felt like a fart in the wind. It flew by far too quickly, leaving the impression that this incredibly cool boss fight we'd created was nothing worth remembering. The changes we made to slow down the fight's pacing are in the interest of giving Zildot Bex a few more moments to shine and be the badass he was meant to be." End quote. I've only played through the Ground TFO once so far, and that was when I was on stream and a bit distracted, but I don't recall anything special about that final boss fight, so I fully understand where Borticus is coming from here. Many of the final bosses in this game can be a bit of a joke nowadays, the most notable being the V-Rexes over on the Dyson Battleground, so getting some final bosses that don't instantly die is always welcome. Now, shifting over to the console patch, the first set of fixes here is for the World Razer and Legendary Akira. The World Razer should once again be fully accessible to use, and the Legendary Akira should now be able to equip dual cannons once again. And after that, there's some fixes for some consoles. So for the Polymorphic Probe Array console, they removed an unintended level restriction that was preventing some players from claiming the Epic promo version of the console. And for the Harasser probes from the Vorgon Xiphias Heavy Escort, that console now correctly lists that it's buffing Tetrion and not Polaron damage. And the final fix for console is for something in the Phoenix store that was bound to account instead of bound to character. Whatever the item is, it now has the correct binding. Now, shifting over to some updates, first is for the Promellian that I covered in yesterday's news video, in which the console from it was only giving plus 100 resistance and not the advertised 1200. Borticus has responded and says that a change should go live soon to restore the values posted in the dev blog. And regarding Watcher Bridge Officers and the max-rated EV suit not being in the Infinity lockbox, Borticus is now aware, and hopefully we'll be seeing them in there the next time Infinity is updated. And over on the STO Wiki Discord, to celebrate hitting 7,000 members, they have some new PC giveaways up. So this is in the STO Giveaways channel, and you'll see it labeled as PC Heart of the Matter 7,000 members giveaway. And there's a giveaway here for a Herald Baltum Raider, and then a Herald Thrall Outfit box. So just find that post and hit the blue party icons below each of them that you're interested in. Link to the Wiki Discord is in the pinned comment below for those interested. And heading back to Blue Sky, Borticus posted a heads up to let us know that the Dilithium Destructor Charge Experimental Weapon, which was accidentally added to the game alongside the Pioneer 2 earlier this year, will soon be removed. Any of us that have it will find it converted to a new item called Valuable Salvage in a patch in the next week or so. That item can then be used to claim an ultimate tech upgrade to compensate us for the loss of the item. I believe Borticus had previously commented that very few people had actually managed to obtain this weapon when it was available, so not too many people are going to be impacted. It was a fun weapon to play around with while it was out, but it was clearly not finished, as the tooltip shows, and as Borticus stated on this post. We got to play with it a bit longer than I expected, and getting back the ultimate tech upgrade I used on it is perfectly fine with me. And shifting over to some events, console players are getting a double experience event once again, starting tomorrow, June 6th, running until June 10th. And over on the PC side of things, we have an R&D and Duty Officer event starting at the same time, tomorrow, June 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific, running through June 10th at noon Pacific time. During the R&D and Doff event, you're going to have sales running for the R&D and Doff packs. For R&D, you're going to be getting extra materials from boxes and some extra XP from R&D missions. And for the doffing side of things, you'll be able to earn some free doffs over at the Academy, though that's really not worth your time because the doffs that gives are not great by modern standards. You'll also get some extra Duty Officer Commendation XP from projects, and some doff packs will give you an extra Duty Officer. And as I wrap things up on this news video, just a reminder that next week on June 14th, there's going to be a Tier 5 PvP tournament hosted by DME with over 1.25 billion EC worth of prizes for PC players. Links to that and everything else in this video are in the pinned comment down below. And before I go, I do have two other things for you guys that are not STO related. Over on Steam, Borderlands 2 is free to pick up until June 8th at noon Central. And over on the Epic Games Store, Deathloop and Ogu of the Secret Forest, I have no idea how good or bad these games are, but they're free to pick up right now until June 12th at 10 a.m. Central. Again, links to all that is down below. And that's all I have for you guys today, so as always, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. See you guys around.